So I'm Martin from Alabama, and we're at Brickworld Chicago in 2022. And this is my house from the movie Encanto, so Disney's latest hit. That was pretty good. So I decided I was going to build it out of Lego. It's very pretty.
How many times have you watched the movie to prepare for this?
So I haven't finished watching it yet. So sat down to watch it for research purposes and got a little bit excited and started figuring stuff out. And I think there was 15 minutes left if I go into Disney Plus to watch it that I haven't finished the ending. But I
don't even know how the movie ends, and you've got this incredible build here.
I kind of figured it out. Movies all go the same way, right? So yeah, I don't think I needed the ending part. Actually, what I do know is the house changes. That's part of the movie, and this is like before the ending. Now, if I watch the whole movie, I might be able to do it once it's actually been completed. So yeah.
Well, very, very impressive. So let's dive on into the build here and start. What's the best place to start with this whole build?
Yeah, so like lots of my builds, I want you to think like a kid and how you view. So I really want you to start at the front and you crouch down and you look through the door. And this is one of the original images, and this is how I started the build, was this doorway here. And the door opens and there's a chandelier in there, but it drives your eyes to go to the middle part of the courtyard. And that's important because the house is talking a lot about Colombian architecture, Colombia culture, and that's what's really seen in the movies. This door is very integral. So in the movie, the door at the very end, what I do know is turns gold, and right now we're not in that stage of that. So that's where I think I would start, and then I'd back out a little bit, and you're going to see a bunch of different rooms here, and we'll tour you through the house from what I know. So this room up the top, and it's kind of lit inside, it should be lit, is a nursery. And that's where the children sleep until they get their magical powers. I believe that's correct. If not, someone can let us know. And then, I'll walk you around, my vision on it. So similar to that, I'm going to take you down to the bottom here, which is like the kitchen part on the side. And as we go through the kitchen, there's actually detail in there. The doors are open, so you get all sorts of animals who've jumped on the table, eating the food, pigs and chickens. And then if you scroll all the way through, you're going to have that view again, looking through the courtyard. Okay, so you're going to see the stairways in there, you'll see some hidden Mickeys maybe. But the aim of all of this is to drive you to walk around the build. There's an obvious gap in the middle, which is the middle of the courtyard, and you can actually see without looking in. And so as we continue to walk around the build many different ways, you're going to see lots of little nooks and crannies to kind of again direct your eyes. But this isn't my design, it's designed by Disney, who made something beautiful, and I really just wanted to bring it out. So have you ever watched Encanto?
Oh yes, I actually finished the whole movie, surprisingly.
Congratulations! I didn't have time. I've been working.
Oh yeah,
so.
I understand. You were working on the build.
So one of the great things about the movie is Bruno, the character Bruno. We were not meant to talk about him, but I can, as says on my shirt, which I'll wear this weekend. So I would really like to talk about Bruno. So he's hidden in the walls and in the cracks in these walls. So there's a light lit up here. You can see a guy with a teddy bear because he's a big teddy bear, and you might see him, you might not. There we go. There, zoomed in on the teddy bear, and he's got a dark hat on, and he's a friend's mini doll. So that's kids like that, but they often can't find him, and we spend 20 minutes looking at it. So yeah.
This is why you point him out for us. Thank you.
That's right. You're more than welcome. So. But we can walk around the other side if we want to. We'll watch out for that right there.
As we walk around, you can get a quick look at the Rapunzel's Tower, another one of your incredible builds.
Yeah, so thank you very much. That one's still here, which is good. So this is a little bit more of a boring side. Again, there's not much detail in terms of imagery to say, okay, this is what it looks like, so I had to get some of it from my mind. So you can see these windows, which are brown and grey, and I think they're like little rubbish bins or trash cans. I don't know what it looks like on this side of the wall, but I know the other side of the wall has those windows, so I kind of put them in there. And then we have this nice place with all the toucans landing on the balconies, and then we're back round to the front of the house.
So that's a great little tour there of kind of all the different rooms in there, but you also incorporated lots of lighting, and I think the roof sections and stuff comes off, right?
Yeah, so it does, and I'm going to show you through, but I want you to kind of look down and peer down into the courtyard, because that is the view that everyone wants. And, what does it look like? And we've got this staircase in here, and you're going to see the doors. For me, I'm always looking at what's the main feature that has to happen, and the doors have these lights that kind of like move and wave, etc., or weave. And so I've managed to add that into my build. And no, I don't normally use many lights, but I'm doing a build-in where I need to direct the eye, so I have to have the light to light it up that way. So absolutely.
That's a great tip there for builders in general. The lighting, anything you add lighting to is going to catch people's attention and really makes it the focal point then.
Yeah, so drive where you're at. I try to light to enhance it and not kind of distract from it. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to kind of open some of it up to show you the
That
build
would be
process.
amazing.
Would you like that? Okay. So we're going to start here at the back, and I'll just move this. So I will show you what the section's in. So all these little areas here, these landscapes, just going to slide out, right? So often I've built, like you had showed my Rapunzel tower, it's like this static landscape. Well, I don't need that. I can just do this. And we're going to move this backwards here, this section. Now, I am wired up in some of these places, so I'm going to walk around the other side real quick.
So you can start to see this come all apart then as he pulls the back of the house apart.
See where the wires are. Okay, so there's no wires in this part. All right, so you can see how I've built it here. We're going to take each one of these sections off. I don't think there's any wires under here. That's my battery storage compartment. It's fancy. And then we have the candle here that's flickering quite nicely, which again is one of the main parts of the build that has to be in there. So if I have this and I don't have it lit up, it's not really going to work, because I believe when the flame goes out, that's when the house loses all its magical power, I think, and it cracks and falls to pieces. So again, the other thing, I didn't show you all the cracks in the house. So I'm really proud of the cracks.
It's a design feature.
Absolutely. I mean, it's wonderful. You can build something and it's cracking, but that's to show the stage of where we're at in the movie. So that's just added little detail when you're building something big that kind of, again, can distract the eyes and everything on you. But here, we'll pop this one out for you. I took that roof off, and now we'll pull this one out. This one it's not wired up. Okay, so I'm not going to take them all out, but this is one of the sections, right? So look at that staircase. It's all stationary, hasn't fallen down. So I think you have the hidden Mickey in there, right? Do you see him tucked in?
Oh yes, there we go, back in the corner.
He's hidden, but he's not hidden anymore. You found him, yeah. So, and then we're going to see how I've built the roof. So the roof is one of the things that 11,123 of these tile pieces here, but it's a solid roof built up with plates. And then I don't know if these are half bread slopes or something, but they give that nice texture for the roof texture that you would see in Colombia and then in the Encanto movie, essentially. So they gave me nice little connections, and it's made it all nice and smooth. This being a I don't know what you'd call that. What sort of roof would you call that?
It's like a tile like
roof. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then here you have that angle, that intersection, and that gets tricky to do in Lego. Okay, and so the way I've built it has allowed me to have that nice smoothness there for you, yeah? And then I'm trying to think if I can show you something in here. No, it's pretty much all the same in here. I can take these sections off if you want.
Yeah, sure. It's interesting just this. Yeah, so we want to see it come apart as much as possible.
Oh, okay, let's take it all apart. Yes, okay.
You can start to appreciate the build techniques and how it came together more when you start to see it come apart.
God, it only took me 2 days to set it up. All right, okay. So this is the top part. We'll slide that one off. All right.
You can see all the batteries required for everything.
That is going to go in at the end of the day, because these batteries, I think, last about a day. I'm using a bunch of different companies' batteries. None of them gave me any for free, so I won't say their name. So, yeah.
No free shout-outs.
No, I bought them all myself, so that's how we work. Okay, and we're going to pull this one out, which I think is connected, so I need to lean in. All right, hang on.
But you can see how tiny these wires are, so it makes it easier to fit it between all the different bricks and get all those lights in there.
That's correct. Well, and okay, so I built it knowing I was wiring it up, which, not light in many things, I figured is important for me to do. Otherwise, I'm going to have to change the build. Oh, why doesn't that come apart? Here we go.
Let's do a little light electrical work here.
Yeah, you got any scissors? Yeah, no scissors. All right, this might be when we go to a commercial break. Yeah, okay, so there's another section here.
So this is a good look at how complicated it can be to add lighting, though, as you have to figure out all those connections.
So this is going to give you a little bit inside. So I actually have detail in there, right? Even though you can't see it all, I challenged myself to put detail, and now you can look in the other side of the main bit, so the back of the main bit, and slide on in there. And so you can see in there, and it's nice pretty colours. It's not exactly accurate to the movie, but the movie wasn't real life either. So and Lego's a toy, so we can have a little bit of freedom for artistic impression for
We're just having fun here at the end of the day.
I hope you're having fun. I'm having fun with it. So some of the things people have noticed as we've chatted also about the cracks is also how I've done this with a little vine technique. You're going to see them kind of intertwining into the walls. We've got these cracks. We're using little vine pieces, I guess. And then I've always liked the flexible hosing, and it's flexible and it's not flexible hosing, but it's a little bit thinner stuff, and it's nice to kind of like wrap around, etc. And I've used that a lot here in along the pillars, again, to give texture and to break things up a little bit for you. So yeah.
I mean, the whole build is spectacular here with how modular you were able to make it all and all the lighting you were able to include. One of the coolest sections is kind of this tower section here. So talk a little bit more about kind of the architecture of that. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's a key feature of the movie, right? You see it's Bruno's tower, and something fell off. Our cat fell off, because I always have cats in. I don't really know much about the architecture of it, apart from here we are. Now, one of the things, this is meant to be round here, and I don't know, it looks round. It's a square hole, but it looks round. I mean, I don't have much to say about the architecture of it, apart from here it is.
You got the nice rounded kind of tile technique.
Hold it? No, sorry.
Probably not. No, I think it'd end badly.
Excellent, fine. But anyway, there's the nice roof bit.
The other thing that stands out, in addition to the very colorful roof that you talked about, is the flowers, kind of the vine work all around. I know you were talking a little bit about that, but especially this section out here is just spectacular.
Well, thank you. And I like my landscaping, I like my foliage. Again, that's another thing. It's like, what drew me to this? So I had a couple of people who mentioned I should do this instead of something grey and boring like I've done before sometimes. So I was like, okay. And I was building a chair for an Alice in Wonderland build out of little pink pieces. I poured a piece out. I was like, that pink's a nice colour. And then it's like, okay, well, that pink's a nice colour on the Encanto house. So that's one of the reasons I did it. And so I stopped building the chair and I built this instead. So, yeah.
There you go. And when you're working on a build like this, how did you decide on the scale of this? Because this is quite a large build as you take this all apart.
Okay, so I want minifigure scale. And it's easy to say, hey, what's minifigure scale? So I'm going to walk to the front. What I actually did, so I'll take screenshots and I have them. And I wanted to see what the main character, Mirabelle, how tall she was in front of the door. So I knew I needed to start with a door here, and I built a door around her. And then everything's based off that and from images. And I'll take a brick and hold it up to the screen and measure it, and then, then multiply it by however many to make sure my scaling's right on the amount of studs and things. So yeah. But it's just taken one key piece and building off it. I couldn't have started with a roof. I couldn't have started with anything else. It had to be the doorway here.
And I know you've mentioned the lighting a few times now, but you've obviously got so many batteries in the wires and just like the battery boxes and everything. So how did you kind of keep that in mind as you were putting the whole build together and making sure that you left space for all of that?
Yeah, so I left space for it, is what I did. Yeah, I built and I left holes in there to put the batteries in. So that's essentially, now the roof was the last part I did. So I had room to move around. And then actually, if we go to this back section here, as I was building it, I had the lights in, and I joke about I just made space. I made space, and then I wanted to make sure the wires were fairly locked in, and so they weren't all hanging out, etc. And some of them are intertwined in, and I think I've got some spare bits that I can plug in if I need to. Oh, that came off. That's not going to work, that piece. But yeah, I just had to keep. It's interesting keeping that in mind because you don't have as much freedom just to like lay down the brick as much as you want to. So.
But as we've discussed, the lighting makes it pop so much that it's well worth trying to incorporate that.
Yeah. So, but then again, specifically for this, want you to be able to see the balcony area. And if we're under nice lights, you're going to have shadows. You're not going to see it. It had to have the lights so you could see it. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Another nice architectural element is the chimney section over here as well. So you've got kind of a nice combination of colors going from the like dark red into the green.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a gradient, right? And again, it looks this way, but I wanted to spill it out, and I needed to mix a third color. I don't know much about color theory, apart from this works for me. So using just 1x2 and 1x1 plates, kind of splot it out, so that it's not just like we changed color here. So yeah, I even have a nice little chimney detail under here. Also, if you look carefully, I appreciate that. And I like at least my teapot up here on the little weather vane. I was proud of that one as well.
Some nice parts usage there.
Thank you very much. Yes, yeah. The windows also. Every single window is different, so I'll hold this one. I've used a lot of, reverse plates. So I kind of got this from looking at a bunch of Jonathan Slope's works. So he uses reverse plates a lot, so I threw that in. But every single one of these windows that we go to is going to have a different structure. If we look at the doors as well, I'll turn this around so you can see the door frame. I could have used a Lego door frame, but it's about a stud too small. So it meant I think I was 7 studs high on the door frame. So you're going to see that there are reverse plates in there. That stick there again gives me that little bit of texture, like it's a little bit of wood or something like that, rather than making it nice and smooth. Yeah.
I like the pathways you did here, where it's a combination of the plates where you get that kind of stud texture, but then also the kind of bar piece as well.
Sure. And again, that's it to kind of break it up, right? You just don't want it all look, or I don't want it all, in this case, looking that way. Not many people are going to see it, but hey, you came here with your video camera. I'm glad I did it, and you noticed that.
Exactly. Now, we did a video with you a little while back about how you pack up your creations and move to a show. We'll have a link in the description to that, so if people haven't seen it, and you can learn a lot of tips about traveling to LEGO conventions with builds. But talk about this build kind of specifically and what setup was like for you here and getting this here.
So this was a really quick setup. First of all, I have a 4-foot board that it sits on because the tables get a little bit wobbly and uneven. But this is a really, again, it's a solid build. It hasn't broken transportation-wise because I have made it so it won't go that way. So it would look like it's like this is fragile and that might give away, but the structure is not relying on these things. So even if these bits here were to pop off like that, it's not gonna be a problem at all. Again, same thing, just wrap up in bubble wrap and drive carefully. Yeah. Don't go over too many potholes. Yeah.
There you go. No, I mean, it's a spectacular build. Certainly the colors of all of this capture your attention immediately. So it's a great thing. Yeah, like you said, transitioning from some Star Wars stuff that you're known for into this much color. And I think it definitely gets people's attention as they come into the show here. So great job.
Yeah, well, thank you. And, great job to Disney for creating a wonderful piece. And this is a character. The house is a character by itself. It's alive. And you actually, if anyone wanted to build one, you can't build it wrong because it actually changes so much depending on its mood, etc. So that's kind of a nice thing. So I'm telling myself I haven't done anything wrong for that reason. Yeah.
Of course, Martin, your builds are never wrong.
Thank you. Can we keep that? Can we get that recorded? Oh, we did. Good. Thank you. Yeah. No, they can always be improved. They are wrong. Look, I've got for some reason there's a piece of it sitting right there.
Oh man, you shouldn't have pointed that out. Now I've lost all my faith.
Actually, do you want to see another technique I did?
Sure. Yes.
Here. So all of this little window section here is all upside down and slotted in, and I think it's only connected with one. It's connected on the back side of here, like I made a clip go on the back, so it's like wedged in with a clip. So that's completely built upside down. There's a hidden Mickey up here as well. Hello. Yeah, found it.
It's like the little mini kits the Star Wars builders include from the games.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Sounds right.
No, yeah. So you use some great parts techniques there and tried it. It seems like you kind of even pushed yourself to try some of those new things in the build.
Yeah, well, lighting was new for me, first of all, right? That was the main thing. The roof, so it's always, when I'm about to give up on a build, and it's always the roofs. Peach's Castle, I almost didn't do it because of the roof. I'm really happy with the way I did the roof, and by doing multiple builds, you learn what works and what doesn't. So next time I do another building and I need sort of roofs this way, I know how to knock it out real quick. So, yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for taking us through the build and taking the build apart for us as well. We always appreciate that. Right. Keep up the great work.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye.